Welcome back, everybody. Today, I've got something a little special for you. Something a little bit like my 7 SOM build video that you guys may have saw a couple weeks ago. Today, I'm going to be going over my 22 GT. So if you guys have been following my channel at all lately, you know that I shoot 22 GT and all the competitions that I do. PRS, backwoods sniper, all that kind of stuff. I think the 22 GT is a phenomenal cartridge, and today, hopefully, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a rundown. 1, on what it is, 2, why you might want it, and 3, if you're running some of these other cartridges that are pretty popular these days, is it worth switching to? So go ahead and stick around and we'll dive right into it. Okay, so real quick, let's go over the rifle. What we have here is a Terminus Zeus short action with the quick change feature, and that is going to be chambered in a 22 GT. This has a 1-in-7 twist, 169 freebore. This is built with the Alpha Munitions 169 freebore reamer. It's a 26-inch KP blank. Out on the end, I have a Area 419 Hellfire brake. It's not the match version. I bought this a couple years ago, and it's been doing just fine for me, so I didn't feel the need to really make that step up to the match. On top, we have my US Optics Foundation 25X. I've been shooting this scope for about a year now, and it's by far and away the best scope I've ever used. I have it sitting in ZRO Delta rings, and then my whole package here is sitting in an MDT ACC that I custom Cerakoted. I run NDT mags, my Precision ATR Thumb Rest, and then my Atlas Cal Bipod. So, the 22 GT. Should you get it? Why should you get it? What the heck is it, right? The 22 GT is a neck down version of the very, very popular 6 GT. So, what I have for you guys here, and what I'll show you guys here a little bit closer, is we have your 6 dasher and your 6 GT, right? The 6 dasher and the 6 GT, really popular in the PRS. A lot of guys like running these really high BC 6mm bullets, and I don't blame them. They all work really, really well. But as we know, everybody and their mother is shooting a 6mm these days, so sometimes it's hard to find components, especially with the pandemic, COVID, all that kind of stuff, eating into everybody's wallets. Sometimes you can't find those components. So what I did is I wanted to decide which of these am I going to go with. Do I want to go with the dasher and have to run magazines with the spacer kits, or do I just want to be able to run my traditional 6.5 magazines? I was coming from a 6.5 Creedmoor, so that kind of pushed me in the realm of 6 GT. So the 6 GT, I wanted something in that class, but I didn't want to have to run 6mm bullets. So I decided that I would take that, see if it was possible, and neck it down to 22. And that is where we get the 22 GT. So the 22 GT is a neck down 6mm, and what I'm running here is an 88 grain ELDM quantity. I run these, I have some H4350 behind them, getting them right at about 3,000, 3,025-ish feet per second. It kind of depends on the day. I've had them up all the way up to 3150. I've had them at 3050. I have these ones right at 3000, and all of them shoot well. It just depends on how much powder do you want to use and how much of your barrel life are you willing to sacrifice. So these 88 grain bullets just at 3000 is what I like and what my rifle likes. So that's a brief summary on the 22 GT. Now, why would you get one? Well, again, as I already touched on, you would get one because you don't want to have to deal with trying to find components for all your 6mm. The 22 bullets are in stock pretty much everywhere, and you can get them pretty cheap. I think through Mid-South, I'm getting these 88s in packages of 250 for about $65, I think is what they have them on their website, which, don't quote me on the math, but I believe it's 27 cents a piece, so that's pretty reasonable by today's standards. So with all that being said, you can get your components fairly cheap, or cheaper than what you normally would, and you can actually get your hands on them. And then 3, they work. We've shot this, me and some other people have shot this from 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, 13, and almost to 14. And we've gotten hits, we've set off flashers. You do start to lose a little bit of, you won't see as much splash at those distances, but if you have targets that have flashers or have hit indicators on them, this cartridge will set them off. If you're doing your job and you're hitting the targets, it'll set them off. So don't worry about that. And then inside of, I would say about 1100, you're seeing very comparable splash with a 22 GT that you will on a lot of your 6 Dashers, your 6 GTs. If they're running those 105 to 108 class bullets. You really can't go wrong with this package, with this setup. And then lastly, the ballistics are really, really good on this. So I've got my Kestrel pulled up here, and we'll take a look at, let's see, setup for here. I'm living here in Tennessee, just north of Nashville. And at 800 yards, I need 5.2 mils worth of elevation to get out to 800. And then we'll say at 1,000 for some of you guys that shoot out to 1,000. For 1,000 yards, we need 7.6 mils. So for a lot of you guys that are shooting your Dashers and your other, like your 6 GTs, you guys are seeing anywhere between the 8, 9, if you're running slow, maybe even almost double digit. Dope getting out to 1,000 yards. Whereas the 22 GT, you don't need that much. And then you're usually, from what I've seen, you're beating all those other cartridges on wind too. So if a guy is needing 5 to 6 tenths worth of wind on his Dasher, on his GT, this one's usually a tenth to 2 tenths below it. Now, does that make a huge difference? No, we're all doing the same work. It's just what lines are you holding in your reticle. But I think it's a neat point to make, seeing as this bullet, the BCs are high enough that they're traveling out there, they're still carrying energy, and they're beating a lot of these other really popular cartridges on wind. So should you get a 22 GT? To me, the answer is obviously yes. This is my 3rd barrel. This one actually doesn't have any rounds on it. My first one I pulled at 1,400 rounds, and my other one has 2,178 rounds on it. So I've put almost 4,000 rounds down 22 GTs, and this one is going to see a lot of work this upcoming season. I think it's a phenomenal option for guys that want to do the precision rifle game. They want to be competitive, but they don't want to pay the prices, or they don't want to deal with the availability of components that you may or may not see with a lot of your more popular 6 mils. So I think if a guy really wanted to get a qualified gunsmith, have him spin you up a 22 GT, and go to town, go enjoy your competitions. You don't have to worry about, is this going to be a viable option? Am I going to see any detractors? Like, is this going to hold me back? The answer is no. This gun and this cartridge will outperform you 10 times out of 10. I hope this gives you guys a little bit of an insight on what the 22 GT is. You guys obviously have seen a lot of it in a lot of the competitions on my channel, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of it. It's all I'm going to run next season. I might touch my 6.5 in some of my farther distance matches, but for the most part, you guys are going to be seeing 90% of the content on my channel being about the 22 GT. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you could, go ahead and like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and go ahead and check out some of my other videos here and here. I hope to see you guys next time. If you like what you're seeing here, there's a lot more to come. So until next time, this is Matt, and I'll catch you later.